I know. It's not on. Please stand. Will you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? It's not working. Right hand over heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Siralit Zinofner Yev Quidner. Pariyegok Nirhantasim. Gohusam Borshad Hajali Aden Bidi Unenang. Dear parents and guests, welcome to our program. We aspire that we will have a very enjoyable evening. I wanted to be in the Armenian culture mini class ever since the program last year, so the first chance I got this year, I signed up. Some of my friends signed up with me. At first, they were not sure how they would like it, but, like me, they enjoyed it very much. Our program this evening is a combination of some of the things we have learned in our Comparative Culture Social Studies class and our Armenian Culture mini class. One of the first things we learned was the ancient art of carpet weaving. Tracy will now tell you about this passing art.
The world over, people have expressed their faith, history, legends, and superstitions in the images, colors, and symbols found in many Oriental carpets. The language of Persian carpets is full of fantasy. With all three classes assembled, our special guest for the day was Mrs. CHitjian. Growing up in Syria, she had the opportunity to watch and learn how the carpets were woven. First, she showed a piece of raw wool and how it was carded and spun into yarn. The yarn then was dyed into brilliant deep colors. As you might guess, the quality of the wool depends on the type of sheep. Actually, the Oriental carpet is not woven in the traditional sense. A loom is suspended from the ceiling to the floor. The warp, the strings going up and down, and the woof, the strings going across, are made of cotton. Wool is used to make the pile. This also makes the design on the carpet. The pile is tied on. Well, it isn't really tied on in the true sense either. It's sort of folded under. Joni will show you how this is done. As you can see, the yarn goes over two pieces of string. Then each end is folded under and they are both pulled down. Each one of these is called a knot. In case you didn't get it the first time, let us show you again. After every 2 rows, the woof is pulled across and combed down very tight. As you can see, this is a very easy step. About 6 of our students have started their own looms at home. Are you wondering why Oriental carpets cost so much? The average ordinary carpet has about 200 to 300 knots per square inch. The average worker learns to work at a speed of 40 square inches a day. That's 12,000 knots a day, working 12 hours a day. By the way, in 1972, the girls earned 30 cents American money a day. Going at that speed, a 9-foot by 6-foot carpet would take about 8 years. Now, the more elaborate carpets take about 500 to 700 knots per square inch and have a more difficult design. The master weaver, usually a man, chants the design while the girls and women tie the knots. Some men have memorized over 60 different designs. The history of these carpets is extremely fascinating, and I could go on forever. Working on our carpets, we averaged about 30 square inches a week. That's pretty good for novices. We thought it would be nice if we could weave a carpet for our exhibit. Of course, this would be extremely difficult to weave an Oriental design. We didn't have a master weaver to chant the design. So somebody came up with the idea of making the Armenian and the American flags. Luckily, both flags were on the easy side. However, Evan Thomas figured out the field of 50 stars with 13 stripes. He and Marcelo Echeverria and a few helpers worked on the American flag. Nancy Birch, Joan Bernberg, Suzanne Sherwin, Danny Rikus, and I, with a few helpers, worked on the Armenian flag. We feel we are the only students in the whole United States who have made our own authentic Oriental carpets for the multicultural bicentennial celebration. Miss CHitjian feels our rugs are absolutely priceless. Thank you. Another form of art the Armenians are well known for is their manuscripts and miniatures. Jennifer and Antonio made these two originals following the classical design of the manuscripts. First, Stacy Stiles will tell you about the Armenian alphabet. The Armenian alphabet was invented because there was a need for written expression in the years prior to 405 AD. The preceding years had been difficult ones, both internally and externally. Even at this time, the lack of the Armenian identity could have meant the loss of the Armenian church and its... Saint Mesrop, whose baptismal name was Machtot, was born about the year 350 AD in the village of Natsagat. Mesrop was a disciple of Nerses the Great and studied in Greek, Assyrian, and Persian schools. Like his teacher, his secular education included military training and political science. At the bequest of the Catholicos, Saint Shahak and King Yaram Shapu, Mesrop worked hard day and night, traveling, searching, and exploring until he drafted a new set of letters. The first Armenian school was opened by Saint Mesrop himself. Several schools were also founded along with new religious institutions. At this time, the ritual and the liturgy was in Assyrian. Thus he assumed the task of translating the biblical language into Armenian, a national language which could be read and easily understood by the people. After a fruitful life, St. Mesrop died at the ripe age of 85 in 440 AD. It is so rare that a man could experience the glorious results of his inventions and achievements within his own lifetime. The alphabet Mesrop designed was completely phonetical. It had 38 letters. The Armenian language has a unique and independent character of its own. It has a rich vocabulary and is amazingly versatile. This has been one of the most significant milestones of the Armenian history. Not only did it unite the people politically and give rise to its spirits of national identity, but it provided a long-needed vehicle for the expression of the Armenian mind. Thus we now can understand the passionate love the Armenians have for their language. For our program, Sara will now read a poem written by Hampart King CHitjian, CHitjian's father. Հայ լեզուն Խելացություն է սորվիլ ուրիշ մեկ լեզու Բարեկամություն կհաստատվի երբ խոսիս իր լեզուն Նախընտրելի է առաջինա ալալ հայ լեզուն Բոլեցուն է Mesropian Kirerov, Turune Sobil, Hailezun. The Armenian language. It is wise to learn a foreign language. Friendships are made when you speak in someone else's language. Armenian is preferred to be the first language. Its many letters were formed by Saint Mesrop. It is easy to learn Armenian. And now, Jennifer will tell you about the manuscript. The Armenians have been writing manuscripts for more than 15 centuries. Most of them were decorated with bright, colorful designs by talented artists. Unfortunately, we lost most of the Armenian writings during wars when other countries took over Armenia, destroying them in fighting. For example, once, in 1170, the Seljuk Turks destroyed the library of the Balabert fortress, which contained over 10,000 manuscripts. This was only one incident, so you can imagine how many were ruined. However, regardless of all the destruction, over 25,000 manuscripts have been preserved. This was because manuscripts were considered holy relics. During war, they were usually hidden or taken out of the country. Some of them bear traces of fire or dampness because they were usually hidden in caves or underground, and the elements corroded them. Today, all the manuscripts are kept in libraries and museums, where they're safe from this sort of destruction. The medieval manuscripts were written about many things, including history, philosophy, mathematics, astronomy, medicine, law, and grammar. Some of them were originally written in Greek, but were translated into Armenian. Besides their interesting content, the Armenian manuscripts are also valuable because of their illumination. The idea of using gold on the manuscripts came up right after the creation of the written alphabet. It's a shame that the earliest illuminated works were lost. The oldest ones still being preserved are the 4 miniatures sewn to the Echmiadzin Gospels, which date back to the 16th century. The 16th and 17th centuries saw a gradual decline in this art. Manuscripts were slowly being replaced by printed books, but even during this period, much that is of great interest was created. Some manuscripts as old as 1,300 years still retain their astounding freshness and brilliant colors. Instead of fading, the ink has grown brighter and richer. These manuscripts represent one of the valuable contributions to man's cultural heritage by the Armenian people. The Armenians are also a musically endowed people, and music has played an important part in their history. Jennifer Kraft is now going to play a piece by CHitjian, which was especially arranged for our program by her father, William Kraft. One of our many guests, Lisa, is now going to read a poem in Armenian for you.
Matike kalis mirish katu inchu eslalis antisijant. Inchanem hapa volach chinem hakade anum kishonda khadem. Eko madruna geraf kanat tadimo inspiratiram. Hini tadedi tadigi inspiratiram kanat tadimo knatten. Mini pet aras ule asumen ule kochtes ach chemik nang madruna tsuitera.
Gianna Bondolo is now going to play an Armenian piece on the cello. I'm going to play Melody by CHitjian. will see how music is put to dance. Tomorrow CHitjian, a senior at CHitjian High School, taught the girls 2 dances. They'll perform them both for you now. Which was also arranged by Jennifer's father, William Pratt. Silver and Holly, have each learned a poem, and they will play something now.
Cantago Ningalari, Kinisina Mekati, Megver, Megvar, Senede, Vesna Rasmus Kajangi. Money, money. Money, money, in Jahat, money, Sida, Patiner, money, Teller, Hasti, Parat, Voyes, or coming Talet.
now take a 10-minute break. We will now take a 10-minute break. Now you'll see how he taught Armenian history to one person. Now you'll see how he taught Armenian history to one person. Kick the ball. Will this be the first time in history you'll actually be able to kick the ball? Bless you, Charlie Brown. Ow! Hurry up, Lucy. How's Kevin Dean been there, Five-Star? Yes. Shut, Mom. You cookies with that with the doctor head check? Oh, head, Charlie Brown. You took off? Good grief. What happened to my hearing? You blockhead, that's Armenian. Snoopy and I are speaking Armenian. Armenian is the language that is spoken in Armenia. There is Turkish Armenia and Southern Armenia. Yerevan is the capital of Armenia, and now it is Yerevan. What a poonie? Oh, Charlie Brown, I can't believe how ignorant one person can be. That's Yerevan. Snoopy knows about Yerevan. Yerevan is the oldest building in Armenia and dates back to the Urartu civilization. As I said before, Yerevan was the capital of Armenia, and now it is Yerevan. Modern Armenia is a mountainous region which lies near Mount Ararat. The biblical, though not fictional, land and place of the ark. It is hemmed in on the north by the Caspian Sea, on the east by the Caucasus Mountains, on the northwest by the Black Sea, and on the southwest by the Mediterranean. The land can produce many varieties of fruits, and fine vineyards are common throughout the country. Cattle breeding and a plentiful horse stock have distinguished Armenia in the past. In Soviet Armenia alone, over 454 different kinds of birds, fish, and mammals can be found. There is also a great industry in minerals. Gold, copper, lead, aluminum, zinc, iron, chrome, and other metals are found in substantial deposits. Gold and copper were being refined here in 3000 BC, and historian Jacques de Morgan states that the iron industry began in 2000 BC. Urartu is the name of a strong monarchy which has been called Armenia's first nation state. It began in 880 BC with its first king, Ramu, and ended with its 12th king, Rusa II, in 590 BC. Urartu expanded its borders from the Caspian Sea on the east to the cities of Malaysia and Bisranagerd on the west. She challenged the power of Assyria and her other neighbors for over 300 years, until finally falling before the power of King Darius I of Persia in 518 BC. After Urartu's defeat, the Transcaucasian peoples emerged as Georgia and Armenia. Before the Armenians, the area surrounding Lake Van was known as Hyasa. Yerevan, on the outskirts of Yerevan, is situated on a lot nearly equal to 100 hectares. The hill of Ehrenberg rises with monumental edifices domineering its surroundings. This hill has become history. The citadel is built in 3 rows on the east side and step-like on the hillside. The average height reaches 5 miles in some places, as opposed to its original height of 12 miles. The important role of Yerevan has been its continuous historical existence, of which carried through the centuries the traditions of Urartu's highly developed culture and was the beginning of the development of the arts.